Now at 8 o'clock, Lexington firefighters are trying to figure out what caused a fire at a family's home overnight. We'll have the details.
We have a traffic alert to pass along to anyone hoping to head to Bluegrass Airport today.
And the Cats drop a heartbreaker to Tennessee, but there's still good news for Kentucky faithful.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us on this Sunday. I'm Sean Moody.
And I'm Michelle Chamberlain, and I'm just going to forewarn you, you may hear Sean in his Batman voice a little bit later.
Yeah, we got an interesting little Batman cat fan coming up here. We'll keep you in suspense.
But first, we need to talk about the weather. Mike Linden, how's it looking for today?
Well, things are still looking a little soggy left over from yesterday. It might not have been the prettiest day for trick-or-treating as we head into the evening hours under mostly cloudy skies with some showers. Still seeing some of those showers left this morning, but mainly across southern and southeastern Kentucky. The rest of the state still kind of socked in by the clouds. So if you're getting your early morning started this morning, things are still rather overcast. That is helping with our temperatures a little bit, though, keeping the warmth, or keeping yesterday's warmth at the surface. Right now in the mid-50s, Madison County kind of leading the charge there, 57 degrees. But for the next several days here as we get ready to move into the beginning of the month of November, get ready for an up and down work week, not only temperature-wise, but condition-wise, too. Coming up, I'll take you right through Election Day, through the middle of the work week, and into next weekend, coming up in about 10 minutes.
All right, Mike, thank you. New this morning, Lexington firefighters are still on the scene this morning after a fire at a house overnight.
And right now, an investigator is on the scene to try and figure out how it all happened. WKYT's Mike Byer is there this morning with the details. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Sean and Michelle. A fire broke out at this home, which is just above my left shoulder. It's yellow here in the 100 block of Northwood Drive in Lexington. It happened around 4:30 this morning. Now, 4 people were inside at the time, but they all made it out, and a big reason was because of their family dog, who many say saved their lives. Fire crews arrived on scene in about 10 minutes from when they first got the call. When crews got here, they saw fire coming from the attic and were able to put it out in roughly 15 minutes. 3 adults and 1 baby were sleeping upstairs when the fire broke out, but fortunately, all of them were able to escape without injury. Also, there were no injuries to firefighters. Crews do not know yet what caused the fire, but they tell us that there were no working smoke detectors in the home.
The occupants were actually woken by their dog. They didn't have any working smoke alarms in their house, so it's always a good idea with a time change right now to change your batteries and your smoke alarms, and also to make sure that you do have working smoke alarms.
Firefighters tell us that the home is not a total loss, but until the family can return, they're being taken care of by the Red Cross. And as I mentioned earlier, the family dog, a big hero today, a big reason why they were able to walk out and that they're still alive. For now, in Lexington, Mike Byer, WKYT.
All right, Mike, thank you. The Breeders' Cup might be over, brought a lot of excitement to Lexington, but today Lexington may still be feeling the hangover at Bluegrass Airport. Officer Dawn took this video from Sky First on Friday of all the private planes parked there at the airport. Air traffic controllers actually had to shut down the general aviation runway just to make room for all those planes to park. Several airlines have also brought in larger airplanes to handle the extra passengers. The first flight took off about 2 hours ago, and organizers say every flight out of the city is booked today. If you plan to head out there to Bluegrass Airport today or tomorrow, officials say it's a good idea to get there about 2 hours early and be patient.
A true Halloween nightmare in New York. This is a terrible situation. 3 people are dead after an out-of-control car jumped a curb and plowed into a group of trick-or-treaters and their families Saturday afternoon. A 65-year-old man died at the scene. A 24-year-old man and 10-year-old girl were pronounced dead at the hospital. Witnesses say the crash was almost unbelievable.
There were family kids trick-or-treating walking behind me, and all of a sudden, like a car, like I heard the boom, and the car literally like jumped over a parked car and flew into the gate, hitting a bunch of people.
The driver, a man in his 50s, was taken to the hospital with injuries. 2 girls ages 3 and 9, as well as a 21-year-old woman, were also hospitalized.
Lexington police are investigating a shooting late last night. Officers were called to a home on East Loudon Avenue just after 10 o'clock. They say someone knocked on the door and then started shooting. A man inside was hit in the leg. He was taken to UK hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The man's wife and child were also inside the house, but they weren't hurt. Investigators believe the suspect and victim know each other, but they haven't made any arrests. It's a tough loss for the Cats last night. Definitely. Another tough one to Tennessee. For 31 of the last 32 times now, the Tennessee Volunteers have got one over on the Kentucky Wildcats.
That's right, and the game started off well enough for Kentucky. The Cats struck first off a 77-yard fumble recovery. Kentucky and Tennessee battle back and forth in the first half, but the Volunteers get the leg up, going into halftime up 10. Now in the third quarter is where things became problematic. Tennessee scores 2 pairs of touchdowns to the Cats 1. Tennessee wins at 52-21. The Cats will be on the road next Saturday against Georgia.
Despite that loss, Cats fans seemed to have a whole lot of fun at the game last night. There were about 60,000 people there, and a whole lot of them came in costume. Even the Caped Crusader showed up to show his support for the Cats.
Well, Tennessee's our biggest rival. I figured I should go out and show my face. You know, I didn't know if there's going to be any arguments around here or anything. I might have to settle the deal. But
that is awesome.
I love that he's actually listed as Batman. All right, there's my Batman voice for the day.
Yes, I told you he'd do it.
Saturday's game was the 111th matchup between the Wildcats and the Vols.
Oh, nice.
If football losses have got you down, well, it's time to celebrate for another sport. Kentucky basketball season gets back into swing tomorrow. The Cats take on Ottawa University tomorrow night at Rupp Arena for the season's very first exhibition game. But you can only see that game online. The Cats tip off tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on SEC Network Plus.
I'm going to try to get Sean to talk like that the whole newscast.
The whole show? Yeah. I might need a throat lozenge after that.
It was history in the making yesterday for Kentucky horse racing fans and fans all over. With his win at the Breeders' Cup Classic, American Pharoah became the first Triple Crown winner ever to win the historic race. Last night's race was also Pharoah's final trip to the racetrack. He'll retire to Ashford Stud in Woodford County. Keeneland had an amazing year as well. More than 50,000 people packed into the track Saturday for the second day of the Breeders' Cup. Breeders' Cup officials say they expect around $65 million to come into Lexington because of the events. The total 2-day attendance at Keeneland for this year's Breeders' Cup was about 95,000 people.
Pretty remarkable there. Just a few days after a debate broadcast on CNBC, a number of Republican presidential candidates and their campaign staff are set to meet in Washington tonight to discuss what they want from TV networks in the remaining debates. Brian Stelter reports.
The leading GOP candidates, outraged over their treatment at Wednesday's debate, meeting in Washington Sunday night to rewrite the ground rules for the next round. Among those calling for change, Ben Carson.
Debates are supposed to be established to help the people get to know the candidates and get to know what's behind them and what their thinking process is, what their philosophy is, and what it's turned into is a gotcha.
Sunday's meeting is an unheard-of gathering of rivals. The campaigns united in their anger over what they called the hostile nature and tone of the questioning.
Your board fired you. I just wondered why you think we should hire you now.
Is this a comic book version of a presidential campaign?
And RNC Chief Reince Priebus agreed, complaining bitterly just moments after the debate ended.
I think it was one gotcha question, one personal low blow after the other.
But the candidates also plan to take control of the debates from Priebus and the RNC, charging that party bosses have failed to take their concerns to the networks. More evidence of the GOP at a crossroads, as politicians, led by party outsiders, struggle for control of the party. That was, first and foremost, among the candidates' complaints.
I think the bigger frustration you saw is that all those candidates on the stage had prepared for a substantive debate.
We have $19 trillion in debt. We have people out of work. We have ISIS and Al-Qaeda attacking us. And we're talking about fantasy football?
Brian Stelter, CNN, New York.
Of course, the presidential election is still more than a year away, but Kentucky's holding their general election, our general election rather, this Tuesday. The latest WKYT Herald Leader Bluegrass poll shows Democratic nominee and current Attorney General Jack Conway 5% ahead of Republican businessman Matt Bevin with 40% there, Independent Drew Curtis with 6%. And polling results show most of Kentucky's other races are close as well. Despite how competitive a lot of these races are, Kentucky Secretary of State Allison Lonergan Grimes says her office expects turnout to be low. Over on WKYT.com, you can find information on where you can vote and, of course, complete results once they start coming in. It's 8:09 on your Sunday morning, and we're just getting started here.
Yeah, when we come back, new data shows millennials spend more money on what, Batman?
Pizza.
More than anything else, the details on those findings after this.
And welcome to November. Hopefully we can start out a little better than October ended. And coming up, I'll show you what the first week of the month has in store for you.